We talked about on the last episode, drift, discipline, dominion. And now let's say you've been living in the land of dominion for a while. It's going well and you're starting to get a lot of traction. Now here's where the drift starts to creep in. All of a sudden your body's tightening up, your bank account's building, the energy inside of your home is elevating because your presence has been there. Everything is going your direction. And dominion starts to slip into the drift and we start to look for control. We start to control by fear, control by our tone, control by what we are demanding of people instead of commanding people. We've all had a boss or someone we've interacted with where they come in and they start demanding that we get things done on their timeline the way that they think that needs to be done. What's the difference between demanding and commanding? Commanding is done from a place of calm confidence, which is only found in a place of power that is in presence, not performance. Each of us, myself included, and I'll just lay it out there, I have been in both places where my presence is strong, my confidence is calm, and I've been in a place where I'm all about performance and who is seeing what I'm doing and how is it going to work. I better flex louder, get more aggressive to reestablish dominance, not dominion. The whole point of this episode is we're going to talk about avoiding those pitfalls of going from a place of beautiful dominion where everything is going your way and you are stewarding the things that God has given you to steward, and you all of a sudden move to a position of thinking you are the source instead of the steward. We're going to avoid those pitfalls because it's just a part of the drift, discipline, dominion process we talked about last week. Life is a pitch. It's simply that. It is a pitch, and it is fun. Let's make sure that you're being sold what you want and you're selling what you actually want to sell. I really just love selling. It's the easiest thing on the planet if you believe in yourself. Let's buckle up. By the way, my name's JL. This is Sell Anything. Once a man gets a little bit of authority, just a tiny bit, he'll immediately start to exercise unrighteous dominion. What does that mean? What do kings do when they become complacent? They start demanding that everybody meet their needs instead of commanding. The reason that they became a king is they were able to command troops. They were able to enroll people into their cause to go and conquer the next nation because they led from the front. They led with love. They led with the power. And then the moment they become complacent, they quit doing the little things that put them in a place of power. David, the same dude who slayed Goliath, and he's one of the greatest kings in all the land. And the moment homeboy decides that he's going to quit being disciplined and leading his troops into war and send them out instead of leading from the front or practicing what he knows has gotten him where he's at today. He looks across the way and he sees this smoke show they call Bathsheba. And he's like, oh, and the drift starts to creep in. We all know the story, what happens. Why specifically are we sharing the story of David? The drift is subtle. That is a subtle distinction that takes you from dominion to drift. Check yourself. Am I lying or am I telling the truth? Am I manipulating or am I persuading? Am I being honest or am I telling the truth in advance? Just check yourself and make sure you're staying true to what you say you're going to do and who you are and what the actual truth is. So what does righteous dominion actually look like? It looks like restraint. It looks like responding instead of reacting. How do we maintain it? It's very simple. We maintain it by persuasion, not manipulation, by long suffering. If you look up the Greek word, the direct translation of long suffering is to actually be long tempered. So instead of having a short fuse and reacting and emotionally blowing up when you get into a situation that you don't like to see, you be long tempered. Not a short fuse, you got a long fuse, which is patience. So you're patient, you're persuasive, you're meek. When I was growing up, I looked at meek as if they were weak. Meek is weak. Well, the definition is actually strength under control. Meek is to have the sword but keep it sheathed and know how to use it. And it's the same idea of it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. It's that same idea, strength under control. Meek is a powerful thing. So again, patient, persuasion, meekness, long suffering, or don't have a short fuse, keep your temper in check, and then love unfeigned. What on earth does unfeigned mean? Unfeigned is to not be exaggerated, not be fake, but to be real, to be authentic. It's not for show. It's not for performance. It's all coming from a place of presence, that you genuinely mean it. We've all seen the movie where it's meant to be funny, that somebody is trying to impress a girl And so there's a little kid and he's acting like he loves the little kid. And he's like, oh, I got you, buddy. You're okay. And he's like, rah, 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 in his ear telling you, you screw this up, little kid. I'm going to break you in half. But pretending that he's embracing and loving the kid, that is feigned love. You don't do that. Unfeigned is you genuinely are who you say you are and you love the person from a place of presence. It's that simple. The strongest man in the room or the strongest person in the room when it comes to dominion is the most regulated person in the room. Having control of themselves, their emotions, all of that they're doing. That's what dominion actually looks like. How do we do that? How do we stay in dominion? Remember, you are not the source, you are the steward. What dominion actually looks like is not letting everybody get away with anything they want to do. You correct them with sharpness, but then you show an increase of love. Here's the way you check that. You cut off the behavior you don't want, you cut it off quick, but then you give them a very clear example of what the behavior is you want in a loving way. That being said, and that goes for yourself, because again, you have to have dominion over yourself before. So what that looks like is you walk into the pantry at 9 o'clock at night, you idiot, what are you doing? That's correction with sharpness, but that's domination. It's, yo, dude, is this going to get me what I actually want? Just fix it in real time and then love yourself enough to walk out and just go to bed. Or you walk into a situation where you've got to discipline one of your kids or you got to correct one of your employees. Are you regulated? Can you correct them in a position from love? Or are you going to just blow up on them and have to apologize later? If you have to apologize later for the way you corrected somebody, you did it wrong. But if you can correct them and it draws them closer to you and builds a connection, you did it the right way. What does that look like in real time? It's as simple as a story like this. I was getting ready to go to the gym. It was early in the morning. My wife was actually already up and at 'em. And she, all of a sudden, I heard she was startled. Now, why was she startled? Because my oldest son was coming home. It was like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Where was he coming home from? Oh, he had snuck out. He went out the back door and came in the back door. And as he came in the back door, he scared my wife. So at that point, all of a sudden, the correction needed to happen. And we basically were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to be sneaking out. We got the facts, got what he was trying to do, got what he did, established the fact that that wasn't acceptable anymore. And then what did I do? I invited him to go to the gym with me. Now, why did I do that? 2 reasons. When we go to the gym, we usually connect. Again, if the correction leads to connection, we're doing it right. And why else did I do that to him? Because I'm not letting him go to bed, dude. You want to party all night? Now I'm going to break you in the gym. So you're coming with me. However, the connection was there and he never did it again. So there are 3 things that I want to share with you to stay in dominion as you go forward. Step number 1, remember you are the steward, not the source. You are the steward, not the source. The moment you forget to kneel is when you start to tower over people. Remember, you're accountable to something way bigger than you. God is at the helm. It's your job to listen. If you do that, it's really hard to slip into unrighteous dominion. As a steward, that doesn't mean you can just let everything fly. You do have to have some regulation over yourself and those that are in your stewardship. That's just a part of the game. So what happens when all of a sudden the drift starts to creep in with yourself or someone on your team? Well, you nip it in the butt fast. You recalibrate. You correct sharply and quickly, but then you show an increase of love after. That's number 2. Correct with sharpness, show an increase of love. You want to keep people close to you. That's how you stay in dominion. Number 3 is super simple. See that you're doing everything from a place of love. Everything from a place of love. Everything else will fail, but love will never fail. Love is one of those things that if you are genuinely projecting it out, it will be received. If it's coming from a place of presence and peace and purpose, the people that are feeling it will feel it. If it's coming from performance and show, if it's a feigned love, they're going to feel it. So if you come from a place of love, it's going to work every single time. And because this has had a high undertone of scripture throughout it anyway, and spirituality to it, charity is what I'm talking about. Make sure that charity is in your heart. And the definition of charity, if you look it up in the scriptures, is very simple. It is the love of Christ. To love Christ. To have the love of Him, to love Him, and to take His love to you, and then to project it into the world. That love will never fail. You do those things, you remember that you are not the source, you are the steward, and you remember that as you have to correct somebody, including yourself, to do it quickly, make your point, and then move on. If the correction leads to connection, you're doing it right. And then number 3, lead with love. Always lead with love. Before you make a correction, make sure that you're leading with love. Before you make a move, make sure that it's based in love. That it's greater for the ecological good of mankind and not the individual. Dominion, unrighteous dominion. You want to stay in a place of dominion. Make it a great day.